Welcome back, everyone, to the mod showcase for Planet Zoo. Today we have a ton of insanely beautiful extinct species mods. We have a few other kind of like miscellaneous, real life, kind of like, alive creatures too. But probably most impressively, we also have the first flying birds in Planet Zoo. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, before we do, mods are not officially endorsed by Frontier. When you do mod at the risk of breaking your own game. However, in the description down below, I do have the tutorial on installing mods. If you're experiencing any crashes when it comes to any mods, make sure it's for like the most up-to-date versions of the game, up to like 1.15, 1.16. And if you have any other issues, feel free to join the modding server for any extra help. Yeah, I'm more than happy to help you guys out in the comments, but unfortunately, I'm very busy, so I don't have time to respond to every single person, sorry. So let's get started. This one is the stone sheep from Lowbury. Lowbury always does such an incredible job with his mods, and this one is actually a subspecies of the doll sheep. This one is actually based on Narwhaler's doll sheep remaster, which is very cool. But the stone sheep is a very, very beautiful kind of like subspecies of the doll sheep, only found in America, which is cool. So they do have like these very, very beautiful coats. That is something I always do love to see with these more upcoming, more kind of like modern day mods, is that people are putting so much work into adding different variants and other skins for their species, just so you can get a lot more varied herds, kind of like this, and it's just so cool. But yeah, as always, I do like to check out and see where these guys like to come from, and also if they have any interspecies enrichment. They actually do with the reindeer and the classic doll sheep over there. So it's just a very beautiful looking mod over here, and again, if you're working on like a wildlife park, or if you're working on kind of like a cold weather zoo, these guys are perfect for that, especially like all those beautiful textures, especially around the belly. That is awesome. Look right there, Loeb. On the remaster front, we have one remaster to check out today. Always, like, remasters are must gets in my opinion, and this one is no exception. This is the Meerkat Remaster by Gaboy. So good. Oh my gosh. This just takes the meerkat and makes it look 5 times better. Like, it changes all the proportions so it's a lot more realistic. It gives them whiskers, and it even adds a bunch of different variants. As you can see, there's an albino one right there now. And there's also this kind of like reddish head one that is very much based off of Timon from The Lion King. It is so awesome to see that. That was a special request from whoever commissioned the mod, but it really is just so cool to see how much more realistic our animals can get in Planet Zoo, and honestly how much more higher quality they can get. It is so good. And like, especially in a game with Planet Zoo, I know like keepers kind of look like this, but like everything else looks super realistic. It means so much to me, especially seeing like animals look even better. I just love that. It is so good. So moving on from here, we are checking out a few extinct species from great mods. First on the list is the Llallawavis. Oh god. Llallawavis? Scagliai? I don't know. Is there like a common name for this guy? The magnificent bird of Scagliai? Sure, we'll take that. So it does look like it is from South America, which is very cool, specifically Argentina. It really is awesome to get these more quote-unquote terror-like birds, terror bird, if these are even considered in that group in the game, especially with how beautiful these ones are. Cake has done such a great job on mastering feathers. Like, you can see how incredible these species look from all the way down to the toes to the head up here. It just looks incredible. All the colors in here, it is so good. So these guys are based off of the, I believe, emu, which is very cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just another South American terror bird, which is just so awesome to see. We are not done with the terror birds yet, though. We have Kelenken. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. So these guys are pretty much what you think of whenever it does come to terror bird. Very predatory bird out here. You can't really mix them with anything else. But again, these species used to roam around South America, specifically, I think that was Argentina and Chile, I believe. Yes, Argentina. So yeah, it is just a beautiful, beautiful looking bird. Again, Cake just does such a cool job with her feathers, especially like these little ones on the top of the head right there. It is so cool. Always do love to see that. But this one is so adorable right over here. This one is also from Cake. This is the Miocochilius anomopodus. Sure, I don't know. South American species over here. I have no idea what these groups are, but it seems very cool. But yeah, it was around like Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia. Very, very adorable species right here. I don't know what they're based off of, but it looks so adorable. It seems like it was kind of like an artiodactyl, but I don't want to speak on that. I think it might actually be because you can see kind of like the hooves over there. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like it is a 4-toed ungulate, but I could be entirely wrong, so please correct me in the comments if I am. But these guys have a beautiful little tail. I love the textures on them too. It just turned out so good. So if you guys are making an extinct paleo zoo, shout out to like the paleo zoo video. That's almost at 80,000 views as of like the time I'm recording this. That is so good. So definitely include those guys in. But moving on from here, we are checking out a leaf mod. I know it's been so long since I've been able to put something out. I've just been so busy between pretty much everything else in my life. But this one was a commission that I was commissioned to do. That is how commissions work. It is the bearded seal. I love these guys. So yes, this is probably one of my favorite seals that I've done so far. I do have plans on remastering like my leopard seal and everything else, the monk seal, etc, etc. But these guys were so fun to put together. Shout out to not Monsoon, but Robustus for those photos. They do have some interspecies enrichment with the other seals in the game, so that is very good. But I don't know, I just love how well these guys turned out. They have a few different color morphs in here too. They have some browner, some grayer versions, some bluer versions. There even is one based off of the Endless Ocean texture, which was a special request from the commissioners. I was so excited to do that. But definitely do check that one out if you're making kind of like a aquatic part. Now, this one is so cool. This is the Pan-American sloth, or Eremotherium, I believe. It was the largest ground sloth to ever exist, which is very cool. No interspecies enrichment right there, but they were found all the way across from the United States to South America, which is very cool. Again, a beautiful cake mod. Oh my god, I love how well these guys turned out. The texture just looks incredible. They just look so shaggy, and it's just so awesome to see. Beautiful creature once again, and if you guys are making, once again, a paleo zoo, these guys are perfect for that. Just such a cool creature. Now, we are not done with the extinct species whatsoever. Cenozoic lover just has too much money to burn. This is the giant rabbit. This is the Minorcan giant rabbit, or otherwise known as Nuralagus rex. Yes, sure. I believe that translates to king of the rabbits, I think. But yeah, these guys were found in Minorca, which is very cool. Those are the islands off of the coast of France and Spain down there. And yeah, again, another example of insular gigantism. Yeah, very cool species over here. I wish this was out when we were making Paleo Zoo, because I 100% would have found a place for these guys. I love rabbits so much, and this species over here is just so beautiful. It is based off of the, I think, wallaby? I'm not entirely sure. It requires the arid pack, so make up your mind on what that requires, but it's just such a weird little guy. I love him. And then moving on over here is another cake mod, but it is a real animal this time, real extant, whatever you want to call it. This is the greater sage-grouse. All the males are currently sleeping over here, but the female, oh my gosh, the female looks gorgeous. So beautiful. Look at those feathers. I want to wake up a male though, because the males are where this animal really does shine. Because they are known for like this very fashionable kind of like, I don't know what you call it. It's like these white feathers all around the body. It is so cool. But they do also have that train because they are based off of the Indian peafowl, which kind of makes sense, you know, they get to shine those feathers as best they can. But yeah, it is a beautiful looking species over here. Once again, just completely like blown out of the water with Cake's feathering tech. It is so cool. I love it. All right, so moving on over here, I think we can kind of take our way over here, check out some more extinct species. Lord be with us, because I don't know how to pronounce these. The Machairodus fantius. Sure. Where did these guys come from? Okay, they were from Eurasia, which is very cool. And how long ago did they live? It was from the Miocene. Very cool. But yeah, this is just a beautiful, beautiful looking Felidae species. Very, very cool. Unfortunately, the genus is now extinct, but they are a terror. Look at them. Again, another beautiful job by Cake on these incredible kind of like rosettes on the body. This is just such an incredible like explanation? No. An incredible representation of this extinct species. I love it so much, especially these brighter colors over here. That is so awesome. And we also have the other kind of like species inside of that same genus. Where did these guys live? Let's figure it out. Oh, they lived in North America. So there's two different, yeah, we have the Eurasian one and we also have the American one. It is a very close relative of the saber-toothed tiger, so that is very cool. But look at that hulking beast. Oh my god. Holy crap. Like, this turned out so good. I love this color version too. It especially looks so good. Oh my god, I would love to see this one like across like a taiga habitat. That would be so beautiful. Oh my god, like I hate how many extinct species are coming out after we finish Paleozoo. It's such a shame, but oh my god, it's so cool. But luckily, we do have a pony mod, a domestic pony. This is one of the first breeds of pony that were kind of like domesticated in Britain, which is very cool. So yeah, found in southern Britain, which is very cool. No interspecies enrichment. Sad. Would have loved to have seen that with the other domestic animals from the Planet Zoo base game, but this is incredible by Cake. Again, once again, Cake just always knocks it out of the park with like these kind of droopy mane textures. It is so cool. I might ask her if I can kind of implement those onto like a quarter horse, because that is just so beautiful. But yes, if you guys are looking for more domestic species to add to your parks, these guys are perfect. All right, but moving on from there, I think we can actually check out this one. This one is by Nicholas Lionrider. This is the Megacerops. I forget if there's another name for these guys. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it used to be like grouped in with Brontotheriums, but unfortunately not anymore. But yeah, we did give these guys a ton of interspecies enrichment, so you can do like big old plains areas. Very cool species over here. It's very iconically known for its kind of pronging, kind of like whatever you want to call that, nose. I'm not sure. Is there a specific name for those? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if we have any information on what that kind of like nose thing is. I don't know, but it's a very, very beautiful creature. The Zoopedias were made by our good friend Apex, so that was very cool to see that included in there, and it's just a very cool species. So if you guys are making any, like, you know, again, another Paleozoo, feel free to include those guys. They're awesome. All right, we're taking a little trip back to Africa over here. We are checking out a gorgeous, oh my god, drop dead gorgeous mod from Monsoon over here. Let me get a person for scale. So yes, this is just so cool. This is the giant eland. I think they actually might be a little undersized. I'm not entirely sure on, because I feel like giant eland should be like 5 times bigger than this. But this is an incredibly beautiful mod for Monsoon. Again, I think Monsoon is probably my personal favorite modder in the Planet Zoo community, just because his look always feels so synonymous with the Planet Zoo art style, and it's just so good. But giant elands are probably one of the most like iconic antelope out of Africa. They're found like, you know, around equatorial Africa, which is kind of cool. And they do have a bunch of interspecies enrichment too, with like your various African species. And there is a ton of variants in here that make use of kind of like the striping system and like, you know, whatever makes the zebras in Planet Zoo have all their different stripes, so it affects like the dewlap and stuff. It is so beautiful, and there's a whole bunch of different color combinations that you can get with these guys. It is just so good. And the dewlap does have physics on there, so it kind of jiggles whenever it does walk. Very cool species over here. I love them. So good, Monsoon. All right, this, I like, listen, we're in zoo class right now. This is the Sarcantodon mongolianus. I'm gonna assume it was from, or at least found in modern day Mongolia. Yep, found in modern day Mongolia and China. So yeah, it was Meaty Tooth, which is a fantastic name to be called. That is great. It's only known from a skull and jawbones. Okay, very interesting. And it seems like it would have shared its range with Brontotherius, Cholicotherius, and rhinos, and preyed upon them too, which is very cool to see this one tiny little species do. But yeah, that is just so cool. If you guys want to read more about it over there, feel free to. But this just looks insane. insane. I don't know. These guys look so goofy, like in the best way possible. Very beautiful creature over here. Once again, made by the incredible Great Mod. And these textures on here, just so cool. Like this mix of like rusty brown and gray. That just looks awesome over there, Kate. So over here, we have a collaboration between Ginger Toast as well as Lowbury. We have the Northern Shoveler. I know that Ginger just released the Australian Shoveler, which is very cool, but this one is a lot more known to a lot more of us Northerners. You can see that they spread a wide variety of places. So this is a fairly common species, not too common because I only just saw them for the first time in real life, in the wild at least a couple months ago. But this is a very beautiful species. I love how their genus name is Spatula. Like, I don't know, just completely riffing on the fact that they have this big old beak. But yeah, these guys are such an incredible species. If you are a birder or a waterfowler, you probably know this species instantly, but it's just so cool to see, especially if you're working on a lot more of like a nature focused zoo or like a tier park. You definitely have a lot more open water in your park, and you can absolutely include these guys for kind of not like, you know, kind of just like ambient animals. I always love to see when zoos do that, at least in Planet Zoo and in real life too. But if you're working on like a native aviary, they are perfect for that. We're moving on to this kind of elephant looking species, even though it was more so related to like tapirs, I guess. I don't know. This is the Eremotherium miu. They were found in South America, which is very cool. No interspecies enrichment. Always do love to see it. Cake, please include more. But yeah, these guys are so cool. Yeah, read about these species right here. I don't know what else there is to say other than the fact that they are just this weird tapir elephant looking hybrid kind of guy. I don't know. The texture on here is just incredible. The skin feels so bumpy and it feels so weird. I don't know. It's just a very cool species, and I'm so impressed by Cake bringing this to life, especially for creatures that we only have like a small like fragment of bones for. I don't know. That's so. All right, we have this species over here before we get into the real heavy hitters this week. This is the Josephostagiaisha magna. Sure, whatever you want to call it. Giant capybara. That is the proper term for it, I suppose. So yeah, there are two Josephos at this point in Planet Zoo. There are two subspecies for them. If you do want to get them, one is by Cake, one is by Nick. Really cool species over here. Some interspecies enrichment to really play into the fact that these guys were basically just giant capybaras and lived in South America. Very cool species. They do have this little paca patterning that Nick did over here. Very cool species. But let's move on to the more intricate mods this week. All right, so right over here, we do need to add a brachiation frame because these guys absolutely shine with it. But this is the white-bellied spider monkey by Great Cake Mods. Once again, Cake is like the only one who knows how to do new animations right now, which is so fun. But yes, these guys, like spider monkeys in real life, they will brachiate, hopefully, once it actually does that. So they do have these extremely long tails. Spider monkeys were called that because the original colonizers who found their way into kind of like South America and Central America and stuff like that, they're like, oh my god, what is that up there? It looks like a giant spider or something. But yeah, these guys are super cool, especially I'm really hoping that they do the cool animation because they are based off of the gibbon or the Siamang. Not exactly sure which one it is properly based off of, but they should be able to brachiate super soon. They need to be fed in order to brachiate. I think they just need a few more of their needs met. There we go. Oh, yes, let's go. So yes, I'm gonna slow down the speed over here. I use Kai's speed tool to slow down the speed a little bit so we can actually see this in place. But yeah, they actually do hang with their tails over here. That is a new animation by Great Cake Mods, which is super, super cool to see. But yeah, it's just awesome. I love to see that. They hang with like one hand right over there. It is the coolest thing in the world to see. Yeah, incredible job by Cake. I feel like I haven't talked about like the model on this species yet. It is super, super impressive. Just like all the details on here, all of like the anatomy of the spider monkey is so good. I do plan on updating the one that's currently on my page right now to this rig. I just gotta talk to Nick about that, make sure that that's all good. But yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful species over here. So good. It is so impressive, but I think what everyone is super, super excited for is the fact that we now have flying birds. bird. Now, trust me, they do fly. They're just chilling on the ground right now. But before we actually do get into the animations, this is the Spix macaw. This is in fact what the Rio bird is based off of. It is a very, very endangered macaw species. I think at one point they were considered to be extinct in the wild. Yep. But they are slowly but surely releasing them back to the wild, which is very, very cool in Brazil. They do have interspecies enrichment, so you guys can mix them with a whole bunch of different species. But I'm really hoping that they do fly over here. I'm gonna see if we can actually use some of like the jungle gyms in there. It just flew, obviously. But I'm hoping that we can actually use some of like the medium bird, maybe. Delete that. And hopefully they should be flying soon. So they do have, well, obviously this enrichment isn't properly made for it yet. But they do have the ability to go on like the enrichment pieces that are specifically made for the animal. Unfortunately, I don't have those in place right now. You just gotta check on the description page to make sure whatever one matches up for the specific species. Like over here, I put down the medium bird one, and hopefully it should go right in there. Okay, it's a little offset, so I'm not sure what's happening right there. But I think the coolest part about these guys is that they actually do fly to get from place A to place B. You can see a little bit of that right here. Again, the legs are a little weird because we haven't fully figured out how to get, like, you know, the legs to really tuck into themselves. Kaz and I haven't shit. But yes, it is super, super cool to see flying birds officially in Planet Zoo. Now, it's not official free-form flying, or however you want to say it, but it is absolutely a step in the right direction because these birds can now point to a direction on the map and properly fly there instead of just being linked towards, like, you know, enrichment items and stuff like that. Overall, though, this is a beautiful, beautiful species. It is so cool to see the evolution of the bird mods from Cake's original plans with them to, like, actually doing insane, like, completely insane animations for them, which is so. But yes, I apologize for the undecorated showcase this time around after, like, Paleo Zoo and everything else. I just haven't had time to work on Planet Zoo recently. But yeah, let me know your favorite mods in the description down below. Are there any that you're absolutely enamored with? Are there any that you just had to jump in and see for yourself? My personal favorite this week has to be the giant eland. I have to find a zoo where we can properly build for these guys soon, so we're gonna end it with them. But have the most wonderful, wonderful days. We'll see you all in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.